Well, we continue our Meet the Mayor segments this morning with Fort Erie's Mayor, Wayne Redekop. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Very well, very well. I wanted to start off with an unfortunate bit of news out of Fort Erie over the weekend that there were 2 murders in Fort Erie, and one murder alone hardly ever happens in Fort Erie.
That's right. That's pretty unusual in Fort Erie, and we don't have a lot of details about that. The police obviously are continuing their investigation, but it's very unusual and pretty traumatic for our community, which is generally very peaceful and welcoming.
So as far as we know, the bodies of 2 women were found in a home there, not very far from the lakefront, and that's
It's actually on the river. Yeah.
Yeah, right on the river there. And the river has come up in a number of issues with the town because you get that ice flow, and the river, beautiful setting, so people want to build houses there, people want to live there, but then the ice backs up and you get lots of flooding problems like they did last year.
Yeah, so that's actually more the lake. That's the mouth of the river. That's Lake Erie in the background there. So that's the ice being pushed up by the winds and the waves. And so the real challenges are along the lake where creeks can back up because of the wind. As you know, the water levels this year, over the last couple of years, have been high in Lake Erie. So that's a challenge that we have to deal with. And previously, safe areas for housing construction are now within floodplains.
What about people who live there having trouble getting insurance?
Well, they have trouble if there are repeated incidents. And so we're looking at a number of things that we can do to try to remedy and prevent further damage. And those issues range from better shoreline protection, looking at how we can make sure that those creeks don't back up, also looking at newer floodplain mapping and better resiliency in building code and planning approvals.
Lots of planning to be done against the forces of nature, right?
Absolutely. It's a very good example of the significance of climate change and how it is affecting lives nowadays. So all municipalities really have to take this issue into serious consideration because going forward, we anticipate that it's simply going to be a continuation.
Right. The water also attracted a lot of out-of-towners when the weather was very, very nice during the pandemic. How are you going to, because it looks like we'll still be in some form of limitations once the weather gets nice again, how are you going to change the visitor regulations this year as opposed to last year?
Well, we're very fortunate that we've got we've got about 46 kilometers of shoreline that's along Lake Erie and the Niagara River. So we have, and as you know, water is a great attractor for people. So we have a lot of opportunities for people to come to Fort Erie. The Niagara Parks Commission regulates usage along most of the Niagara River in Fort Erie, but the town of Fort Erie does have a number of beaches to which people flock in the summertime, particularly when the weather is warm. We have one large beach called Bay Beach, which we spent a lot of money on about 3 years ago with some assistance from the region of Niagara. And last summer, in order to try to comply with provincial regulations, emergency orders, we closed that beach to anyone other than local residents. But the other beaches were available for use by out-of-towners, and they were swamped. And on many occasions, we had to have our enforcement people out making sure that physical distancing was taking place. Yeah, that would be a picture from not 2020. That would be from before.
Yes, yes.
That's a beach that could that we have known to have 7,000 to 8,000 people on a day. So it's a great attractor. It's good for local businesses when it's up and operating. We've made sure that it's safe for people.
Wayne, I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, I do have to interrupt because they're telling me we're out of time. Wayne Redekop, Mayor of Fort Erie, thank you for chatting with us. Hope to chat with you again soon.
Great. Thanks very much.